Before her death, Gabby Petito's life looked like the dream life online. Adventure, love, laughter. She seemingly had it all. But the same person in those videos with her is the one who police say took her life.
If your family as a whole could get one theme or message out more than anything to people from this documentary, what is it?
You're not alone. If you're in a situation and you need help, reach out.
I think social media shows all the good things, and it shows this lifestyle that everybody thinks they need to be envious of. It shows happy times, only the good stuff. But behind the scenes, you don't know what's really going on.
Gabby's mom, Nicole Schmidt, and her parents say they learned so much about domestic violence after Gabby's case skyrocketed into the headlines. Her disappearance prompted immediate national attention, something her family was so thankful for. But after they created the Gabby Petito Foundation to work toward missing persons and domestic violence prevention, they learned about missing and murdered Indigenous women whose cases weren't getting nearly the attention Gabby's case was, and set out to change that.
Yeah, we started with the MMIW crisis. Someone had sent me an article of Darlene Gomez talking about, Gabby's story and how it impacted, missing persons and brought other people's cases, I guess, to the top of the list, which we thought was important. And we reached out to Darlene to see what we could do to help out. And I think we've had a great partnership since. Jim and Tara, you guys were just in Arizona for Jamie Yazzie, and we're not slowing down anytime soon.
Jim and Tara were here in Phoenix for the federal sentencing of Jamie Yazzie's boyfriend, Trey James, in September of last year to show their support. He was sentenced to life in prison. He killed Jamie on the Navajo Nation in 2019. Her remains not found for years, and even when they were, murder charges weren't filed for months. Gabby's father and family says all cases should get the same treatment by law enforcement, media, and the public.
It's all of us. It's you carrying the story. It's you interviewing us. It's other people sharing the stories. You see it now on social media. More and more stories are being shared, and we want it to continue, and we hoping that gap is filled in even more to where you don't see it anymore. Everyone gets the same attention. There are so many people that are affected by domestic violence. Don't let color be the judge on who is and who's not deserving of that attention.
And our podcast with the Petito and Schmidt families comes out Monday, the same day as the docuseries on Netflix called American Murder, Gabby Petito. I know how Netflix goes. True crime documentaries are usually some of the most popular pieces that are on there. I imagine this is going to be #1 across the platform almost immediately after it's released. Everybody cares about this case, but it's so admirable that her family is taking their tragedy and trying to help others who just haven't gotten that same spotlight that Gabby's did.
Well, and such a valid statement, his last statement that he made. Don't let color be the judge.
Right.
And there's so many layers and depths to that.
Brianna, did they have any red flags when they were dating and traveling around?
I think some, but not things that her family looked at and thought were immediate issues at the time. When I was talking to them, they're going through old text messages, things that are going to be in this documentary that we haven't seen before, right? Because we see all the van life videos,
right,
but they were together well before that. They got engaged in 2020, about a year before they did the van life kind of cross-country trip. So there's a lot more that we're going to see in the documentary leading up, and her parents talk about some text messages that maybe show a little bit more of that dynamic, that it wasn't that picture-perfect life. And most of the time it never is, right? I mean, social media is a highlight reel. They talk about that. And Gabby's mom is hopeful that now there is some change on social media, that now we're seeing people being more real, sharing the highs and the lows on TikTok, on Instagram, things like that. But I think when they look at aspects of their relationship now, they can see the signs that there was some
underlying issues.
Yeah, an unhealthy relationship that was kind of underlying what you saw at the surface.
Did it help them talk? Does it help them talking about this, doing the documentary?
I think so. It's not their favorite thing to go out there and have to relive this trauma over and over again. In fact, Jim, Gabby's stepdad, who was one of the ones here in Arizona for Jamie's case, said that this docuseries is the very first thing he has watched as far as coverage goes on Gabby's case, just because it's too hard for him to watch back. And he said that was really difficult. So I think they want to get everything out there. They want to be out there creating awareness. They want Gabby to be remembered and honored. And you know, she didn't die in vain. This is going forward, and they're changing the lives for others. But I don't think it's their favorite thing to watch, and understandably so. It's kind of this first time they're reliving it. They're telling their side of the story. I think they're relieved about that. I'm not sure this is something they want to do all the time, but they know that the work's important, and getting their message out, talking about the MMIW cases and the crises, getting out more domestic violence prevention. That, you know, Jim said in our interview, there was a lot of resources when it comes to if you're a victim, shelter, ways to get help, so important. But he was feeling like there was really a lack of things in the beginning. Like, before you get to that point, what can you do to prevent it? And they're trying to work on that.
I think they're definitely having an impact, and even more so next week after the release of that docuseries. Brianna, thanks for that chat with them.